I want to talk about, hence the shirt, how these things have to go mainstream. And in order to extrapolate or predict that, you have to look at how the internet went mainstream. Okay. So, in the beginning of the internet, so right now, for example, we're all on the internet, me and Basejunkie and you guys on the stream are like on your phones, and it seems like we're on one internet, but that's actually not true, right? The internet is built on something called TCP/IP, which is short for Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. And it's the basis of what's called our client server model. So anytime I'm interacting with Basejunkie, it's basically two different servers or multiple different servers that's interacting with each other. On the back end, right? The internet is very much physical infrastructure. It is not wireless. It just seems as if these servers are interacting with each other on the back end. So it looks like we have one experience, right? Now, and this is the key that you have to keep in mind. And the internet went mainstream by companies offering services. When I say companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Equinix, which is the largest server hosting company in probably the world, definitely the United States. They have these server farms where they're hosting all these servers so that we can use them, and it doesn't even seem like we're using them, or we don't know. Because if it weren't for them, and me and Basejunkie wanted to be on this Zoom right now, and you guys wanted to be on here right now, or the stream, you have to have some servers in your house. You have to have fans to keep them cool. Probably hire security because you don't want anyone breaking in and stealing them, right? Your electric bill is going to be out the wazoo. You're going to have firewalls and having to configure shit, right? No one's going to do that, or at least 99.9% of people aren't going to do that. And if they had, we would not be on the internet, guys. Just like if we had to configure our circuit breaker every time we turn on the light, we'd all be using the jack-o'-lanterns, right? So the internet went mainstream from these companies offering these services, and that's exactly what Base is doing with L2s. And they're essentially building on top of TCP/IP. And we're moving into the next layer of the internet, right? It's all a big tech stack, and crypto sits on top of that. The cool thing is you get to own a piece of this new internet, right? Like I said, most of these applications are going to be built on these different L2s, social media platforms, DeFi, NFTs, we're already seeing assets being tokenized and coming on chain, and we have some cool news for you guys about that today. Base just announced at Basecamp 2 weeks ago that they're going to be exploring a network token. So it's just like, imagine if when you were using Instagram, if you were using Facebook, and you were using any internet protocol, even emails, when TCP/IP went public, which they never did, no one owns it, you got to own a piece of the token. That's what Web3 is allowing you to do. So Coinbase, for example, they rebranded their Coinbase wallet to the Base app, and their goal is to combine payments, social media, trading, and mini apps into one unified ecosystem. And they're building this on top of the Base app, which is on top of the original tech stack and TCP/IP that we just told you guys about. So use these protocols so you can own a piece, and just so you can be on the leading edge. And it's not just Coinbase doing these things, but we're going to see all different types of L2s. I think Base is going to be the number one, but it's just helpful to know that the only way that blockchain and Web3 technology is going to go mainstream is if we have companies like Coinbase, etc., building products so that we can use it with ease without having to know what's happening on the back end.